we just watched American Honey,
Yeah.
2016 movie. I think it flew under everybody's radar except for, I don't know if this came out of Sundance or Cannes. I want to say Cannes.
Yeah.
But A24 bought it, and now we watched it. Yeah. Mark.
It was a phenomenal film.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It's so good.
It's so wonderful.
My God.
Easy 5 stars.
Yeah, easy.
Easy 5 stars. This was such an
I was
enjoyable
worried
experience.
because while I was watching it, you know, we reacted, but we didn't really express how we both felt. And I was making up reasoning, like, oh, how would Mark not like this? Oh, I see. Oh, I could see if this happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
hey.
I hardly... It's very difficult for me to see flaws in this
Right,
film.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... For what it sets out to do, it hits every mark.
Yep.
It makes you think. Its flow is... I was just never bored. I was always engaged. I was always on the edge of my seat. Even though, like, this is such a successful film in that it's a slow film.
Yeah.
And I was engaged the entire time.
Is it a slow film?
I think so.
I think it's up for debate.
I
don't think it's that slow. I think if we're talking road trip, I think Kings of the Road is way slower.
Here's the thing. It doesn't feel slow. But the pacing is slow, in my opinion. Like, a lot of shit happens, and technically it's not slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel slow because, like... But if you think about it, like, the movie is very stretched out. It's very long, too.
It's true.
Like,
2 hours and 43 minutes.
This movie could have been 90 minutes.
It could have been.
It could have been 90 minutes, and they could have done the exact same thing, except they really expanded it and went really, really deep into everything and ended up with a magnificent result.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think... So this film's in 4:3, and it looks great.
It looks fantastic. Way. It's, like, the cinematography is beautiful, yet at the same time, like, a lot of this is on, like, handheld, shaky, but there's the lighting is, like, everything is very, very carefully...
I don't think it's never not handheld.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single scene that's not handheld.
Yeah, everything is handheld. This is, like, they literally... Like, even the end credits, this is a bit of a... I don't know if this is a bit of a spoiler, but, you know, you could tell that sort of, like, the passion behind this project.
Yeah.
And, like, just sort of, like, how the production of this project just seems so unanimous.
Well, yeah, the way they list the names.
I love that. I've never seen that in a film before.
It's very... Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. Like, it's just, like... Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I think the choice of music is very interesting. I think it's mostly diegetic, but sometimes when the visuals are doing montage stuff, it chooses to play the same piece through it.
It's very clever with its music choices. Yes. The music is never... Is this a spoiler? Who knows? But, like, the music is never... It's always logical why there is music.
Yes.
Like, you won't have a moment where like they play music because they want you to feel sad. No, this film trusts you as an intelligent viewer.
I love this so
much. Like, it's throughout the whole thing. Like, you're never told outright what the main character is really thinking. But you know, and it's left a little bit vague because it's a little bit up to interpretation.
Yeah.
But the ways they show you is so clear.
Absolutely.
So clear. And the imagery is so interesting. And so, like there are things I notice in, like, the song lyrics that will come back later as, like, legit imagery on the screen. There's, like, metaphors. It's very smart film work.
And how we come to watch this movie is also very interesting.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about watching something American, and I was like, what films have American in the title?
Yeah.
And then I remembered all the buzz about this film, and I'm like, hey, this wasn't even on our watch list for the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's watch this.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we would have just missed this.
This is a perfect 4th of July film.
It's so
They
perfect.
have fireworks. They have flags. This is like
so many flags.
There's so much of America in this.
Yeah, they have not campfires, but just fires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with people dancing around.
Yeah, it's also like a big like emphasis on party like mentality.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
And. Yeah, this film is...
And also the parts of...
it's so psychological as well. I agree. Like, the way that everyone is manipulated in this film is... I mean, it reminds me of, like...
Well, there are a few key characters that get manipulated.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, the whole setup is interesting.
I think so, too.
Like, the whole film is...
Should we tell plot? Just, like, give us a quick synopsis? Because I feel like people haven't heard of this movie. Nah.
I don't even know what to say. That's not like...
Like, I don't want to ruin the experience of it.
Yeah. It's just... It explores... Okay. It follows... I'll say the main character, and that's it. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a main character. She is... not homeless, but nearly there. She is, like, the poorest of the poor.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets involved in a group of people. She basically leaves her life behind and gets involved with a group of people that takes her on a Odyssey structured narrative that is very good.
Yeah, you did it. That was really good. I was worried. I'm like, is he going to say too much?
Yeah.
But no, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It sort of makes me think, I mean, to make, like, okay, I'll give recommendations. Obviously Tangerine.
Obviously the Florida Project.
And the Florida Project. I've not seen Florida Project, but I'm sure this is, like...
I think I like this more than Florida Project.
Really?
Yeah.
They're
different enough, though.
Yeah. Having seen Tangerine, I can understand that.
It's way better than Tangerine, I
think.
But Tangerine's amazing. I mean, we're comparing art here, so we can't...
I'm trying to think...
I don't want to make it sound
there's another time when I literally said in the movie, this is like a blending of...
Tangerine and Spring Breakers.
And Spring Breakers.
Yes.
Yeah, this...
I could recommend Spring Breakers. It's a pretty different take. But
Spring Breakers is not this film. It has nothing to do with this film.
No.
But it has similar themes, and it has a similar approach.
Yes, I guess
it's not nearly the same thing.
Kind of. Well, so I've seen like 10 minutes of Gummo, and there are moments of this movie where I'm like, I'm glad I'm not watching Gummo. But this could be in the same universe as Gummo.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, one of the things I love most about this film is how it explores morality.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the entire narrative is characters, how they deal with morality. I mean, it's the whole setup of the film.
It is the whole setup of the film. And the first time when morality comes into play, I was surprised by how the characters dealt with it.
And it changes. It's like it's not just like, oh, every character has their own opinion and like they battle it out. It's right. No, like key characters have a transformation throughout the story, and it's just.
But it's also very consistent to their core philosophies.
Oh,
and I during spoilers, I think I will get into some of like what I think their core philosophies are and how the individual moments really, really reflect that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really wonderful. Oh, there was one more point. Man, I'm losing my train of thought a lot today. But we were just immersed in this crazy experience, and now
it's so immersed.
Now we're trying to talk, so like I'm having trouble.
Yeah,
definitely a better 4th of July movie than Black Panther.
Yeah. Hey, you just saw Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're gonna upload that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oof, man, that's a spicy talk. Ugh, I'm really nervous about it because I spew some things there that are interesting. But hey, that's what movies do. Man, there's one more thing about the characters' morality. Yeah. I wanted to say that this movie it feels very well researched in a way where like
it feels very genuine.
It feels genuine.
Like, how we were talking about how like something with
Incredibles 2.
Not Incredibles 2. Uncle Drew.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like throwaway, like, not being respectful of anyone. Everyone who is represented in this film, like, every demographic of person, I felt like was humanized in a way that, like, there's a little bit of, like, push against religion. But that's the only negative connotation I really got.
I think there's a push against religion.
Yeah, like...
It asks questions.
It asks questions, but, like, it's not, like, outright parroting it. It's, like, humanizing it.
It's humanizing it, but it's also just offering commentary, because when we see these things that are being, explored, we're like, oh, we've seen people like this. We've seen, like, there are people who are kind of hypocrites when it comes to their religion. And it's really interesting to see how, in a way, the modern world we live in kind of I don't know, it kind of advocates that hypocrisy just because people want to be safe. I don't think I might be getting too much into spoilers. I think I am.
That's getting pretty deep into the themes.
Yeah. But no, I was gonna say, it feels well researched in a way where, like, it feels like I almost got a culture shock right from the beginning on how these people acted, because these are very poor people. And it feels it's quite similar to the way Sean Baker, the director of Florida Project and Tangerine, I know he goes into deep research on what people who live in these poorer areas really do and how they act. And this feels really similar. In that there's this irrationality in the way they make decisions, but it's also the way the dialogue is written that supports that. And I really like how I like the characters, but there are moments where I'm like, I really don't like what you're doing right now. It kind of it's a perfect balance between not getting fully not fully rolling with the characters, because some of them are so polarizing, but at the same time just having enough for you to be on the journey with them. That's a problem I have with There Will Be Blood, where I think the main character, everybody loves him, and maybe I just have a different experience. I think that movie's overrated in the way that the main character is so despicable that I'm just watching his actions and I'm like, you're just not someone that I enjoy spending time with. While these people are people in this movie are people that I actually enjoy spending time with.
It's odd. You almost get the experience that you're, like, traveling with these people.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. And or do you want to go? Or
I'll just make a quick point.
Yeah.
I think that for how psychological this movie is, it feels surprisingly, the camera feels surprisingly candid. It does not feel... Yeah, like, we are following the main character's perspective, but at the same time, it does feel like we're a third-person view looking into it.
Yes.
Which I think is fantastic. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Did you remember? I was worried that I was going to make you forget. But,
it's fine, I'll remember.
Because I do that to myself so much, even.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember now. This movie doesn't give two shits whether or not a character is likable.
Oh, I agree.
It's not even in the picture. They instead just throw it out the window and explore morality with free reign.
I don't want to say this film doesn't give two shits, but I think it trusts its characters enough.
Yes.
Because, we have close-up shots of their expressions and stuff. And I feel like that's the thing with the show Don't Tell.
Yeah.
Through showing their expressions, it humanizes them to a point.
Well, it's not even...
Yeah, where we can just completely be along the journey with them in the way they just express sadness and emotion and joy.
Yeah. It's funny you say show their expressions, because, like, this isn't, like... Their expressions are, like... It'll be a close-up of their face and they don't do anything. How it's communicated is, like, all of the cinematic stuff, but also through their actions. And their actions, which are sometimes subtle or not so subtle.
Right.
But also, like, how they behave, which is, like, very, very, like, unique and not at all... Nothing feels forced in this film.
Yeah, nothing feels forced. Again, there's one thing that I feel like, depending on the viewer, you might feel like it's doing a little bit too much.
There were times when I know I was like,
yeah,
you're doing that? Really? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it makes sense.
It barely fazed me. Moments
barely
like
fazed me either. Yeah. This could be an all-timer.
I really like this film.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I was also thinking of like you're thinking of what is it, Kings of the Road?
Yeah.
And comparing like a road trip movie like that.
Oh, it's different.
Like it's very different, but
like that feels more like an art film.
Kings of the Road?
In the more classic sense.
Well, this also feels like an art film.
It does feel like an art film.
But it's a very, I mean, it focuses, its narrative is so interesting that it doesn't feel like something you have to sit through, like with Kings of the Road.
Right.
But at the same time, though, like, this film has extended music sequences. That potentially slow. Like, there are moments where, like, the music sequences, and they come at the best times, right? I think it's like placing these longer moments where it's ramped up the tension to a very high place, and then it goes into an extended moment of stillness. And that moment of stillness has a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Because of the context of that moment of stillness. Right. Like, I can't give examples without spoilers, but yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes music is just used to relax. It's like we just went through this big plot point, even though it's hardly that. It's just this event that happened. And then we just see a bunch of people shooting the shit and having fun. Yeah. And that's a way to, like, make us relieved. It's like all is good in a way.
Okay, my own experience. I really want to get into. Okay, can we get into spoilers?
Should we?
Okay, we should.
Are there any more?
I want to talk about this more, but with details.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should get into spoilers.
This is a fantastic film. It's also long.
Non-spoiler.
It's a bit of a big like.
It's like
I was worried like it was gonna be too big of a commitment or something. Because I remember like we kind of stalled to start it, and I ended up taking a nap even. But like if you're worried about this being too big of a commitment, you will be able to focus. Like I think so. Yeah, it's a very gripping film.
Yeah, it's very gripping. Yeah. Like usually most of my top films, like I call like pure cinema, where it puts me into in this mode where I feel like I'm just experiencing. I don't want to sound too pretentious, but cinema in its truest form.
Yeah, this is
definitely there.
This is up there with that.
Yeah. And I had moments where I turned my brain off, but it wasn't like The Mirror. Oh gosh. But there were similar moments where, I was just so fully absorbed in it.
Absorption.
That's a good way to put it. I should use that in the future instead of like whatever.
Yeah, you still obviously use your brain, right?
Yes.
It's just you're really engaged with it and you're absorbed.
Yeah. Well, I compare it with playing music, where like there's a point where you stop mentally critiquing everything you do, or like trying to guide yourself through something. You just kind of play while you're still being focused. Yeah. Anyway,
I call that also like state of flow.
State of flow. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Okay, spoiler time.
Yeah, spoiler time. Yeah, watch this. It's good.
Yeah, sweaty spoilers.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know, let's begin spoilers like this. There were multiple moments where they were in motels, and I was like, wow, they probably have AC in there, and we don't.
Yeah, we don't have AC right now.
And we live upstairs on the second story, so that makes it worse.
It's hot as hell
basement tonight.
Basement.
It's probably cool there, honestly, but...
maybe we could be doing it downstairs, but we have a roommate who's sleeping.
Yeah.
Anyway, just to give off one moment, the very first time they make a sale, and they go into that house.
Yeah.
Like this is a really short moment, but it illustrates what I'm talking about, where the girls are dancing in the backyard. There's like a moment when they walk in and the girls are just being fucking ridiculous because Shia LaBeouf has hypnotized her to like into with the boyfriend material line and like it's like that moment of students were like we're waiting for the water or drink or whatever. Yeah. And like that's a really good example of a moment of stillness or like something that like was really interesting to me was like you're learning about this society, and like you're like, what really is this? This feels really weird. It always keeps the feeling that something is wrong, that feels wrong about this, even though it's like everyone's being kind of open about what stuff is. One detail that really got me was the whole detail of the losers night. Yeah, like what the fuck is this shit? It's like, is this like some sort of lottery, like horror story, where lottery is a short story where like everyone throws pebbles and kills people ceremonially, right? Where like, oh yeah, we make people fight.
Yeah.
It's just like, is this a fight to the death? What is this?
Right. Well,
and it's just revealed like, yeah, they fight, and that's that.
That's that.
Like it
Yeah, and when it gets too far, they stop them and all that. But like,
yeah.
I think there are two things that I want to say about just the fight thing. I think the first thing is that I think the reason you're feeling that something is wrong is because we're following the story through Star, and that she really is, you know, the scene where the boss lady, I don't know her last name, Riley Keough. I want to say Keough.
The actresses?
Yeah. So it's spelled Keough. I have no idea. So she was in Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
She was the lady who the girlfriend, the girl who like showed affection to the war boy, the skinny dude. Remember, there was like a little couple.
Oh.
Yeah, she was also red-haired. I've seen her in multiple movies, but this is the first one where her acting chops really got to shine, and I can see why she's cast so often. Yeah. But when I was saying
there were a lot of really good performances in this film.
Shia LaBeouf, that guy can act!
Yeah, I thought...
What?
I only knew him as a meme.
As a meme, and the Transformers dude. I know he has some other roles where he's really good, but... Yeah, he got famous kind of through Transformers and the Do It, and just his shenanigans. But, okay, before I go too far on a tangent, I was thinking, like, even though Riley Keough, I'll say Keough, Riley Keough tells her, like, you're not special, Star is an ideal person to follow because she is kind of special in that she cares about connecting with people a little more than your average magazine salesperson.
She has a moral center, which she, like... This film is basically about her compromising her moral center and what that's like for her.
Right.
It's...
mostly silently.
Yeah.
And
it's all silently. Yeah. That's the genius of this film. It's never like, I don't feel right about this. She never actually says that.
You don't feel right about this? Yeah. There's never any exposition about any reasoning. Like, you know, when
this
movies
try to back
exposition. Up. Yeah. Well, okay, there are expositions where they
talk
about their background.
It's like, yo, I'm from Florida, but even that feels like, yeah, we're learning about the group. Like, it doesn't feel like shit.
We're learning about the group while the people in the group are learning about each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like anything is even subtly aimed towards the audience.
Yeah.
But anyway, before I forget, the second point I wanted to make about the fighting scene is, like, I was thinking when they actually fought later on in the movie that if this were even an indie film, if this were any generic indie film, someone would have died in the fight scene. Or there would be some sort of death somewhere in the movie.
It's like, oh, they died accidentally, and then everyone has to deal with that.
Exactly.
Except they just don't do that.
And,
like, instead, the tension just, like, sits.
Yeah.
And that's... It's so hard to pull off, and they did it.
One thing I love about that scene is the naked dude, you already see him cut and bruised. And you're never explained why, what the specific causes were.
Although I have a theory of why I think that is. Do you?
No.
Oh, okay. My thinking was that he's sort of the guy who ends up losing most of the time.
Okay.
Oh. And that's why he has so many cuts and bruises.
Okay.
But also, if you notice how he acts, it seems like he enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay.
You're right. Like, he's the guy who loses, and he's the guy who enjoys beating up people, and like being the guy who has to fight someone.
And if we're continuing on that scene, you remember how it ends. Star stops the naked dude and kisses him.
Yeah. I think it's like, maybe she even recognizes that the other person just doesn't want to fight, so she stops it. But
it's also...
I mean, it's also to get against Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, exactly. But, and then you get that shot. See, for how, like, quick or, like, handheld the camera is, there were lots of moments of really precise, like, work. Like, for example, that shower side right after during that scene where Shia LaBeouf's just standing facing the side with like the light, and then he looks, and that's the moment it hits him what she's doing. But he's gonna get manipulated into it.
The editing in this film is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
so
it's I mean, one is it sort of leans towards my own preference of editing, where
really?
you'll be in a moment where it's like everything's good, bam, we're somewhere else.
Yeah, there were moments where like I was really getting into the music stuff, and then the music cuts, and I'm like, ah, but okay. Yeah. And with a lot of recent blockbusters, a problem that I have is that scenes don't last long enough. For example, there are scenes where like a character, like in Black Panther, this is not really a big spoiler, but like someone wants to kill someone, and then a side character is like, no, don't do it, and then you see the other character go like, because of some moral dilemma, and we never get to see like the person doing the killing, his reaction. It just cuts immediately, and I'm like, you could have gotten a great reaction moment there. And I feel like this film just knows, even for all its sporadic editing, it knows just what to show.
Yeah.
Nothing feels premature, and nothing really feels overlong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were. I also remember times when like something was happening, and like it felt like the moment was being stretched out, like the hand job scene.
Yeah.
Where like she's doing it, and then there are some shots during that are so beautiful.
Right.
Where like it shows like his neck.
Shows his neck.
It's like a close up of his neck, and then like it shows like him blurred out, and then a tractor or like an oil digger in the distance.
Oh yeah,
and
that whole
like,
setting.
That whole setting was like at first. Okay, you know what I thought at first?
You had a reaction.
I actually said, "Oh shit," because we had seen these. Okay, There's a song previously in the film about keeping the light shining.
Yes.
Then in the second half of the film, where she sort of like decides to prostitute herself, there are these. You see this at first in the distance. These flames that shoot up.
Right.
I think they're part of oil.
They're part of the oil. Yeah.
Oil rigs. Yeah. And the place they go to do the hand job is in front of one of those. One wonderful lighting excuse to have like wonderful lighting, but like also like it connects back to the song that was earlier in the film, and which strengthens the metaphor about her own dream, and the reason she's doing that in the first place is because we find out later that she's trying to satisfy Shia LaBeouf's dream of running away, and it's
oh, I actually didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Really, man.
Yeah, there's the writing is so like concise,
But what makes it even stronger is that there are movies, where they try to give you that this type of grounded, realistic vibe, but then they try to add something poetic, and it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, all the poetics in this film, it's so subtle. Like, it's there, and it's just left for you to sort of like uncover it yourself if you think about it enough. I think. Yeah.
But for example, like taking her to to like that big fireplace, you can say that, I don't know, like a lesser filmmaker would just make that scene, like, why is he taking her there? But I don't know, because of his character and the way he says, I made this extra special. And just that mildly creepy way he says it, it justifies it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the film just is so good at, doing things. And one of the moments that at first drove me off, because I kind of started seeing the rhythm of they go to a new city, some sort of melodrama with Shia LaBeouf happens. They go to a new city, and then more melodrama happens. When Shia LaBeouf appears in the van again at the very end, at first I'm like, come on, why would you do this? But then they didn't explain it.
Yeah.
And also the way they ended the film, because I knew the film was almost over, because they were singing American Honey.
Yeah,
But it wasn't satisfying enough for that. I was like, if it ends there, I don't know what to think about this. But then it kind of ends with her, like, in the water, and it's so beautiful.
And it's like, it's like a metaphor for self-cleansing.
Exactly.
And
always.
And even, like, they make it look like suicide at first.
Yeah, they do make it.
And, oh, my God. It's... Yeah. There was one moment where I was a little confused, where, I thought we had missed something, like they were intentionally hiding something from us.
Really?
But I think it was a
Where was
misunderstanding on my part. So like it was when, the boss lady, was like, "We gotta teach you something."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next morning, and they never really showed like. I was thinking like, oh, they're gonna do something to her. And then it just cut to the next morning, and it made me think that we had missed like some big event.
Where is this? Because I know they had. She has a couple of confrontations
after the first sale, I think.
After the first sale.
Where.
I don't know. It flowed well for me.
Okay, that was the only moment in the film where I thought they were like cheating us information, but like I sort of forgot about it because I realized that wasn't really the case.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, I don't think so.
That...
I think she was just the boss lady was just having a dilemma of what to do with her because this is the first sale.
Yeah. Also, it's so obvious that this is not obvious, but like I love the female representation in this film. Like it. For one, like half of the characters are female. All of them are strong characters. The strongest characters are female. The protagonist is female.
Yes.
The boss is fucking female.
Yes.
They even have a really funny moment where, like, they're just shooting the breeze and there's some black dudes around. Also, I noticed, like,
oh yeah,
they're all white.
Is Star white?
Yeah.
I think
she's like mixed Hispanic, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe like.
Well,
her skin's is dark enough to be Hispanic.
But her kids are white. But that could be the dad's side. Oh, that's something I really love.
Oh, yeah, those weren't her kids.
Oh, really?
No. Oh, wait, or were they?
I don't think that was clear, but hey, maybe that's... See, that's the thing.
Yeah, we don't really know.
For me, the moment I saw the dude that she lives with and how she deals with him, her boyfriend, I was like, oh, she probably got pregnant. And it has to live with him.
Yeah.
Like, I just immediately knew that.
Yeah, that's what it was implying.
Exactly.
But then she says, they're your kids.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what it could be?
What?
Where that other couple knows that those are actually... Maybe the dad had an affair.
And
maybe. With her at, like, some point in the past. And she keeps the kids, and they're her kids.
Oh, okay. So it's someone else's?
So it's her kids, but it's not the father of who she is with now.
I don't think so.
But it could be a situation where, like, he actually thinks they're his kids.
That could be that, too.
It could be, but then again, if you notice, the dad was, like, super, like, he made the kid cry. Like, he obviously didn't give a shit about him.
Well, I think that's just the reality of it.
That's just the reality. Well, that was just his character obviously, like, doesn't really care about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he was arguably the least developed character in the film. But, like, he appeared for 10 minutes.
Oh, but that's great. But I think from what we saw, it said everything.
It said everything
it spoke volumes.
It spoke volumes, and it said everything his character needed to.
Yeah.
But
and afterwards, she gives the kids to the other lady in the dance.
I am disappointed. I mean, the film can only do so much, but I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see Darth Vader's girl developed more. It made it seem like she was like going to have something happen to her that was significant. Like she obviously was struggling with something. With like how she was obsessed with Darth Vader, and she was such like a different kind of person from the rest of the crowd.
Right. I don't think so. I think any significant event would have ruined just her weird little sayings.
Yeah, they definitely made it also look like she's sort of like she's sort of like a foil to the protagonist, where she's a future version of her.
Really?
Yeah, because
Death Star?
No, Shia LaBeouf also recruited her in the same way.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right, with the stickers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. But for... all I could see is... like, I doubt Shia LaBeouf got into the same drama as he did with...
That's the thing. It leaves it vague. It's morally ambiguous.
So. See, but yeah.
Like Shia LaBeouf, I think what happened... Okay, here's my interpretation of what happened. Shia LaBeuf has done this a lot of times, and has slept with newcomers to sort of get them engaged, involved in the group in this way. But he did this the same time with Star, the protagonist, but Star got to him.
Yes, exactly. You can tell from the way he does... I mean, let's talk about the scene where he shoots the gun at the cowboy white dudes. Like, at first I'm like, whoa, why is this happening? It just went from like 30 to 100 real fast. But then I realized it's like parallel to the way he does his selling. He just doesn't care about people.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about anybody he sells with the stuff to. And
yeah, he arguably doesn't even care about himself.
Right, exactly.
Which I think it's what it comes down to, is that's who his character is. He's someone who doesn't... He's like... The whole metaphorical thing of stealing other people's treasure.
Yeah.
It's like stealing other people's dreams, almost. Like
maybe.
It's like, that's what he does.
I think so.
It's so good.
Yeah. And I love the scene where, like, he shows her the treasure and she's like, oh, you have enough. And he's like, no, I think I need a couple thousand more. That's all guess. And so at the same time, he's kind of preventing himself from doing what he really wants. And I think through his attitude and through just the way he does things, he's trying to cover the dream. I don't know. It's just a secret thing that he keeps.
Yeah, he threw a tantrum when, like, she actually gave him an out and said, here's $1,000. You can do what you want now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Probably with the expectation that they would run away together, of course. But, that wasn't even, like, a possibility for him.
Oh, no.
Like, it broke him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else I thought was really interesting was, so the whole episode with the cowboys.
Yeah.
That was so interesting because you never knew if, like, that was going to come into something that was going to be very scary very suddenly. Like, at any moment, that could have turned into, like, a gang rape situation.
I think the moment that really got to me was that shot where it followed her back going down to the basement.
Yeah! I thought, like, what is this? Are they going into a sex dungeon?
Yeah, is this martyrs?
Yeah, but then no, it's just like a open, friendly pool, and they're literally having barbecue. And I think it's so beautiful that we still don't know, like, if that would have happened if Shia LaBeouf had not come in like he did. Because when he did come in, like, I was thinking, okay, either he's just being melodramatic, and or he understands something about these people and actually believes her to be in, like, real danger.
I think he definitely believes her to be in real danger.
Yeah.
But I think it is...
Like, had a legitimate reason, like, I know these guys, they were going to poison you, something like that. But they didn't do that choice, because it would have been too easy.
Well, for me, it seemed like... And, see, it's cool that I have such strong interpretations on things, because that's when the film is good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that things are ambiguous. I want to... Like, for me, I just want to... I have my own interpretation on things, but that's a testament to how strong this movie is. For me, it seems like he's doing it based on stereotypes.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything that... Or maybe they really seemed that way at first, because, come on, she just hopped in with these three dudes in white that are just, like, looking at her. They basically encircle her. And then they just drive off, so obviously he's going to feel weird about it. But, like, I love the stuff with the worm.
Yeah.
I love all that.
That was just so... That whole sequence... it's probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, for one, it puts her in a situation where, like, she got to be super successful by doing exactly what she wanted to do.
Exactly.
Which was being openly honest with people about her situation.
Yeah.
And still they're like... Okay, we'll buy into this bullshit and give you money.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll drink that drug that's probably, like, gonna knock you out. Like, I thought it was gonna be, like, a date rape drug situation. But, like, no, I think they were literally just, like, that's strong. And they were really just having fun with her.
Yeah. And even the comments on, like, oh, a girl can't do that. They don't feel outwardly sexist. They feel like they're just playing with her.
Yeah,
it's a combination of both. It's a very fine line.
Yeah, it's like, you understand that's who they are.
Yeah, exactly. You understand that's who they are.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and that never bothered me.
It's not, it's never like an overtly negative look on it. Doesn't feel like it's portraying them in a negative light at all.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And see, you're speculating things about, like, oh, what if the drink was drugged? I love how, if the director is actually dangling that in front of the audience's eyes, it's subtle enough that you think this is actually how the characters are.
Yeah.
You know, like, anything that any lesser director could do and feel like a plot point. Like, oh, this is going to get the audience. This movie doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be the director playing with us. But I don't know. The only moment where it's the director playing with us was the red liquid with the plant.
That was the only moment where I rolled my eyes.
Really?
Because I thought it was going to be like, oh, fuck, who got killed? When it showed something that looked like blood. And then it showed the flower. I'm like, oh.
I liked it because...
You tricked us.
See, I liked it...
It's almost like a gag.
I liked it because Star discovered it at the same time, and she was the one who panics first. Like, we see her panic before we see the red water. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I like it because that's just a part of being in nature and, like... running into things you don't know. So I was forgiving, and the movie had done so much well that I was super forgiving. I'm
sort of assuming that that's something that actually happens in that part of the country.
Exactly.
So I imagine it's a thing where, like, either they legit had that happen to them in real life, so they decided to put it in the movie, or they've heard so many stories about this happening to people that they decided to make it like that sort of plot point. That I can see would be totally justified.
Right. And I love how it took me 10 seconds to actually understand it was the flower. Because you were the one who went, first, and then I'm like, wait, I'm not getting... Oh. So that's another... Again, that's the movie trusting its audience. Yeah. It just shows the flower for, like, not even long enough. It was like 3 seconds. Yeah. And then it just cuts. It's like, let's move on. They're in the van again.
You got it. Let's look on.
Yeah. I hate to detract from the cowboy scene, but I'm trying to think what else in that scene was so great. Yeah, okay. See, that's another thing.
When she pushes him in.
Yes.
I love that because, like, it's a sign of such good writing because it elevates the tension in such an interesting way because you don't know who has the power. You don't know if they're really on an equal level playing field, or if they're getting ready to pounce on her. I almost feel like they don't even know if they want to do that. Like, they're sort of like, they don't even know it. The Cowboys don't even know, like, what's going on even.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's bizarre.
It's just, speaking of flow states, I think everyone in that scene was just out of flow state until Shia LaBeouf
comes in and shoots.
Yeah.
He didn't actually kill anyone.
Right,
exactly. He only just made people
see all three of them come out.
Yeah, it just spooked them.
Yeah. And see, that's another thing I wanted to say that was so brilliant. It never felt convenient that she was getting money her way. Like, how she was, like, getting it so easy. She, like, the first time she makes a sale, she goes with the cow. It never felt convenient for the plot's sake. Yeah. And that's just something that comes from the nuanced writing.
It feels like she really earned it.
Exactly.
Yeah, even though it was sort of like a Daniel's Martin, like, look at these cowboys who appeared out of nowhere. Yeah. But, it just felt like a stroke of luck that made sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also liked how it comes back later in a smaller scale with that truck driver, where they listen to the song about Shining and stuff. Yeah. And they have this nice moment.
Yeah, and she, like, looks at the pictures of his his daughter.
It's wonderful.
And, like, it's like every moment is, like, ties together with the next, because then she meets the poor family that has no groceries, and she buys them groceries. That really got to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you knew from her faces, her expressions, her doing nothing expressions when she came in that she's like, oh, I'm not comfortable selling at this place, selling magazines. And you can see, at first she wants to wait for the mother to wake up, but then you see the mother.
And she's just like,
I can't. She makes the mother in Moonlight look like a sane person. She's just like a zombie walking around. Yeah. I felt truly sorry. I'm like, whatever situation this is. Also, I love the kid who yells, I love killing children or something like that. I kill children.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a song?
Yeah.
I love killing.
That's a Florida Project moment. I'll say that much. That's just the entirety of the Florida Project.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
I would never expect it to be so cute.
Yeah, yeah. It's great, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they went to all those places to do it on location. Yeah, because you can tell that each neighborhood had its own vibe. I love the
No neighborhood felt the same. Exactly. I mean, some of the rich neighborhoods felt similar. Yeah. But...
Well, there's the big houses versus the suburbs. Yeah. Or the moderately sized houses. Yeah. But,
I totally believe they, like, did a legit road trip.
Right, because in the poor area, you see all the houses there, and they just look disheveled. Mm-hmm. You can't fake that. But I love the scene where they're looking at all the big houses and they're commenting like, "Oh, I'm gonna live there," because like. One of the things I like to critique a lot is like when people in movies talk about this great scene, and then in the end when they show it, it's like really underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, they make looking out a car window look actually like great. Like, yeah, that house looks fantastic.
You know what it even does? It
What?
connects with the themes of the film.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, what's your dream?
Uh-huh.
What are these kids' dreams?
Right.
Oh, they're saying they want to live there?
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to get there in the situation?
Right.
Like, they're trapped inside the society.
Uh-huh. Well, is it an actual dream or is it just a pipe dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also that. And what also makes that really work is that that's the first rich area they visit. And I think prior to that, all that we've seen as an audience is the poor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to see the green, the perfect shrubberies.
Yeah, when she walks into the rich house, like, even that feels like a culture shock.
Yeah.
Even though that's closer to, like, where we are economically,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I mean, we're not rich, but...
No, but
like,
I've
like,
hung
as
out.
musicians, like, we hang out with that demographic a lot.
Yeah, and I've hung out with, like, high school friends who own richer houses than me. Mm-hmm. So that shouldn't come as a culture shock, but it was.
Yeah.
So we totally follow her and the little girl who's...
Yeah.
doing weird dances in
the devil has gotten into you.
Oh,
or something.
It's so good.
that was a bit much.
Really?
To me.
I like the reveal that she's
but,
actually some Christian lady. That's I think it just works so well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But we can talk about the Christian theme in that because the first time
he starts clapping the Christian song, like, and she couldn't stop laughing.
And she couldn't stop laughing, and the lady was like almost shaking her hips in a weird way.
Like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like a false connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sort of like got the impression, wait, something's wrong here. Sorry. I really love the Asian family who had a daughter that
great.
went to like Kent State, and he was lying about the gymnasium, and she was like, I haven't heard about any new gymnasium.
Right.
And they stuck in a line about the family being like smart enough to realize that.
The dad was like. Wait, that's a lot of money for magazine selling.
Yeah.
And I love how it ends there. See, those are the technically premature cuts that really work because...
Yeah, it's like going further would just be like self-indulging at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, like what they could have done is she got the groceries, she goes in, and they could have showed her like going in, giving it to the kids.
Yeah.
And like having an interaction with the mom somehow and like having this really heartfelt moment. They didn't do any of that.
Right.
She just goes up to the door, the kids opens the door, and that's all we get.
Right.
That's all we get. I think it's amazing because any other director would be impulsed to want to have that like beautiful moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it works like in a way Lady Bird works, where the whole film kind of feels like an impression. Because Lady Bird, all the dates and events kind of like tie in together so fluidly. And this film, I feel like they're either thinking about it from like the perspective of like the bigger picture, or like they're thinking about it through like, okay, if this character has experienced this, what will be the moments she truly remembers? Like, for example, with the Asian family, like, because it's with Shia LaBeouf, he doesn't care about these people. So I think cutting it prematurely before, like, they say yes or no doesn't matter because Shia LaBeouf doesn't care.
Yeah.
And that makes it work better. So, yeah, it's like impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that. What else is there? Yeah, I think when the truck driver came, that was the moment where it really became like, wow, this is something phenomenal. Just because it's another moment where she connects with the human and it still manages to feel completely genuine.
Even though she's like, it's the sweetest thing in the world, but like, it ends with her scamming him.
But is it a scam when I feel like, though, a lot of these people who get scammed are so aware of what's going on, and in their mind, they're just helping her out.
The film makes it seem that way, but, like, again, it's
Like,
you don't really know.
I guess not.
Like, he obviously was, like, someone who was legit into magazines.
Yeah.
And wanted a magazine.
Yeah.
Like, unlike a lot of the people in this movie.
Well, I love how the way he soft rejects her, saying, "Oh, I'm running a little late." And then she has that face of disappointment, and then it cuts to her being on the truck. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you don't know what did she have to convince him to go on, or did he just invite her? That's not important, because what's important is when they sing the Shine song. Yeah, it shows you so much about these people.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, just the actions and like I remember one moment where I was like, oh fuck, where near when Boss Lady dropped off the girls with the oil workers.
Yeah.
Like, they had that dance party.
Uh-huh.
And like they're like getting all smoochy with smoochy, like all, what's the word? There's a word, snazzy.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I know.
Whatever.
There's a word there, but I don't remember.
They're dancing and like being all seductive and stuff, and then you see Boss Girl like walk around the car looking like, ugh, and then she just drives off.
Right.
And it's like it shows just like how little she cares about them.
Uh-huh.
And
also, just because there's no tactic, there's no way like dropping them off in front of the people would benefit their sales in any way.
Yeah.
So it just shows that the boss lady doesn't really care about them.
Yeah.
They just care. They just have to make money somehow.
Yeah.
And she's gonna do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Like, what she should have done was like drop them from the side, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, just dropping them in front of them, it just definitely makes them feel like. Yeah, it makes the whole thing just so odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they ask about prostitutes, and then it kind of becomes that.
Yeah, well, like, they're like, are you prostitutes? And they're like, no. And they're like, oh, okay,
everyone just
everyone just leaves.
Yeah, just leaves. But what about Shia LaBeouf's reaction to that? The night when she runs back. Like, we don't even see... Like, Shia LaBeouf does something.
Yeah.
To the oil dude.
Yeah, like, it seemed like he was covered in blood.
Yes.
Like, did he fucking kill the guy?
Something like that.
Man.
Yeah. And then we don't know where he drove his motorbike off to. And then, yeah, it's freaky when he, like, punched the wall. Because I'm like, what, is he ever going to do any harm to her? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was already a very manipulative person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually drew a lot of parallels with the original husband.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's chilling. Because, I mean, he's introduced as someone who, you know, has no redeemable qualities.
Uh-huh.
And then Shia LaBeouf comes in and basically she falls in love with the same type of character.
I guess you're right. Oh, I never even thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, who's, like, manipulative and...
Mm-hmm. But it feels like Shia LaBeouf hates how he likes her.
Yeah.
He hates how he's invested in her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows that when he showed up at the end in the van again, whether it was for her or whether it was Boss Lady, kind of, whether he loves Boss Lady as well, or whether Boss Lady kind of seduced him back. Uh-huh. Like, there's so many questions.
Like, it's like, they don't get answered, but, like, you could just sort of assume that, like, everyone's stuck.
Exactly. That's
everyone's
true.
Stuck.
That's true.
And they're trapped.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah. I think it was pretty heartbreaking when she borrowed the phone to try and call the other lady. Like, that's the only instance.
We never heard about that.
Yeah.
We never heard about that again. Yeah.
Oh. Like, she still has... I think that's, just the initial homesickness. Because it appeared at the point in the film where, like, it makes sense for her to be homesick. Oh, yeah. Like, enough drama has happened already where she kind of reminisces on her old life a little bit. Yeah. And her kids, maybe. Yeah. What else is there?
You could also see this film as, like, a statement on, like, the psychology of poor people.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I said, it feels so well researched.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's a mindset and an ideology there that you just don't get from someone.
Yeah, you don't see this kind of representation in film like this. Like, if someone is poor in a film, they are usually just, like, ridiculous stupid or something.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is.
Right.
This is humanized. It's like it's showing poor people's bad decisions, but it humanizes them.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wait. I was gonna say something. No. Oh yeah. I was gonna make a comparison to like Superfly, which is the blaxploitation film that I really like. That apparently everyone else says only the soundtrack is worth anything. But that's also a film that it talks about the drug dealers in Harlem back in the 80s or even the 70s. And it just has a perspective that is so core to that drug dealing part where they just accept their life. And like to escape that is like an impossibility.
It reminds me of Moonlight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not as subtle.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah. The thing that makes Superfly maybe a little weak is the fact that everything is delivered through just really B-movie dialogue. But I think it's still there and it adds its own kind of charm to it. So if you like this movie, maybe watch Superfly, even though they're very different. Yeah. There gotta be more. There's more to talk about. The Rihanna song that they come back to where they dance with the oil people. That's the same song that they hear. Bitch you. That's the end of that. Yeah, even the way they first meet, Shia LaBeouf and Star.
Oh, I know a thing. So, you know how you're talking about the relationship between diegetic and non-diegetic?
Yeah.
A lot of the times when there's music playing, they're singing with the music.
That's true.
Like, almost every time there's music playing, it's like, in the car, they're listening to music and they're singing with it. And it shows, it connects the characters with the music in a really unique way.
Yeah.
Because, like, it shows it as their music. They even have an argument at one time and like, no, we're not listening to the hip hop shit. We're gonna listen to some good stuff.
Yeah.
Like music for them is like a very special part of their life.
Exactly.
And it translates really beautifully as music for the film.
I think any music that plays in this movie is something that means something to one of the characters.
Yeah.
Like even when she's on another vehicle, the music is being played by the driver.
Yeah. There are even like detail. Like this is getting really deep, but like there are times when like Shia LaBeouf will jokingly go, da 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 da. You're my Death Star, da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
Like sing the Star Wars thing, or like he's sung the Super Mario theme.
Oh yeah, there was a Super Mario theme because he says it's all a game.
It's all a game. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah, there's the flying squirrel, all the animals, all the dogs.
There's so many animals in this film.
The turtle at the end. There's a turtle at
the end, which is like that's like edging on surrealism right there. Because why the fuck would he give him a turtle?
Right. He just gives her.
He gives her a turtle, and like.
And she like sets it free.
And
goes into the water herself.
Yeah.
And kills herself. No, just kidding. No, she doesn't. But lots of dogs. The horses. There's a moment where like, I think Shia LaBeouf was howling, and it looked like the horses were scared, and one of them cuddled close to another one. At least that's how I interpreted it.
Oh yeah, the lone wolf metaphor.
Oh yeah.
And then, you're not the lone wolf anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing was nice.
That's really nice. See, another poetic moment that just doesn't feel forced. The cows, the truck driver's cows.
Oh, that brought a depth to his character.
Right.
Because you know what that probably was?
What?
That was probably like beef for slaughter.
Right, exactly.
Which like beforehand he's like has no reason for anyone to like for him to be morally ambiguous. And then he has cows.
Yeah.
And they don't look well treated.
And you see her face.
And she's just like...
She's like, oh.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it just kind of shows, like, through Star's experiences, she kind of realizes that money is just money. It's like she kind of fights with it. You know, like when an oil digger offers $1,000, she's going to take it. But at the same time, she realizes that money isn't the most important
like the trade-off of what she had to do was like...
Right. Both the cows and the oil diggers whole story. Yeah. I like the way sex and nudity are portrayed in this film. the sex scenes.
Oh yeah, the very first nudity thing is like something that's just out of the blue, and then the actual sex scenes have no nudity.
They have no nudity, yeah, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I almost question whether they actually did it, just because they're
It looks so real.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so real. Where they would actually it'd be the same shot, and the camera would like pan to their genital areas, and you can't see anything that's fake about it. And then it would pan back, and their reactions and like physical reactions would be kind of correlated.
I mean, I doubt there's actual
There's
penetration going
penetration.
on.
Only Lars von
like,
Trier does real penetration. Antichrist actually has real sex.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, like,
but that's von Trier.
well, I can think of. I know a few other examples, but
Oh yeah.
but but like, I mean, this is obviously acting, but like, it's very good sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the camera work during the sex scenes.
Right.
And this, camera work and sound work.
Uh-huh.
Really good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea how long this talk lasted, but like, have we reached the hour mark? I think we might.
Nah,
I think
40.
so.
We're like 45 minutes.
No, I think we're closer to an hour than 45 minutes.
You think?
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
We'll find out.
Do we want to say anything else? Man, I want to rewatch this film soon and show someone else.
Yeah, it's a really great film.
Yeah, this is so good. Just to think that this only showed at our indie theater for a week.
It's so sad because
Yeah.
it has to do with its length. I think
It's the
people are
length.
just they don't see the reason to invest something like this much time.
And they like I wasn't too impressed by the premise. Like
Yeah, the premise is nothing special,
yeah,
but like it's
all
so well made.
I even think the Letterboxd rating is too low, 3.8.
It makes me curious as to what, because I mean, it's hard for me to see a fault in this film.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it could be that what it could be.
What?
The morality.
You think so?
People are gonna just be like, I don't like Shia LaBeouf. I don't like this movie. I suspect, or like not Shia LaBeouf particularly, but like the morality like is really hard for them to swallow.
I guess so.
And because of that, it's a harder film for it to be in that 4.0 category.
I guess so. Brigsby Barrel was 3.8.
Well, that's not a morally
That's
hard
not
movie, though.
but
like
at the same time,
it's
just
like that. It's heartwarming, no matter what the situation.
Right.
But like this deals with characters who I mean, everybody in this movie makes poor choices.
right.
But I mean, it humanizes.
I
them
don't
at the
know
same
though,
time.
but like Florida Project has like 4.1 or 4.2. And
again, maybe it's just the intensity of everything here.
maybe
Because this movie centers... I mean, I don't know what the Florida Project does, but this movie centers around the
It's very
morality.
different. It's very
and
different.
forces you to really grapple with it.
I guess
Like, that's where the tension rides.
But there's so many like even classic art films and foreign films where it's all about the morality.
Man, yeah.
The point is, we gotta tell people to watch this.
Yeah, this is a fantastic film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, like, there's something we don't know about where, like, the representation is actually not it's like, there's something inaccurate about it, but it does not feel that way.
Not feel
at least in our eyes.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it feels completely genuine.
Right. Oh, just a random thing. I find it really interesting that it's the boss lady driving when American Honey plays and everybody sings, because she has that comment earlier, like, you're an American Honey like me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes me think that there's like some humanity in her after all. Maybe.
Everyone has ambiguous morality.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the motel. Oh, the leg scene with the lotion.
That was fucking, oh my god. I mean, talk about establishing a relationship.
It's establishing a relationship, and you see how Shia LaBeouf's actually like a submissive during that scene. He's just kind of, oh fuck, I gotta do this, and he just does it.
It's even more absurd because like it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Like she has a bathing suit on, and she's putting on. It's like she's putting on suntan lotion and she's about to go out to the beach.
Right.
And it's like 10 o'clock at night.
Like,
what the hell? It's like extravagant for extravagant's sake. It strengthens the whole situation. Like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then later on, the other motel scene where we go in, and there's one dude in the blanket.
That was a bit much.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was a bit cheeky.
But
because then he's revealed, and then she even goes, "You thought that was him."
But I think that was just her way of being like,
yeah.
Because you see the guy's face, and he's like, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you can.
Yeah.
And at that point, the boss lady is just this character that we don't know enough about, that I can totally see her just doing that, just to spite her.
Yeah.
And there's a dude from the bathroom coming out, Frank. I even remember his name.
And by the way, there's Frank.
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 By the way, there's Frank.
There's Frank.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, another thing. This movie had homosexuality and did not flaunt it.
Love that.
Yeah, that was like...
You see it subtly.
Yeah.
Like during one of the party scenes, they grind. During a scene in the fancy house, they sleep together.
Yeah.
You see them asleep together.
And it's just like, yeah, this is how it is. Deal with it.
I love it. From the very first time I saw them.
Like, like any other film would like make sure you got it to like almost like like be proud of that.
Yeah.
But this film isn't even like it's subtle about it.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's great.
Yeah. Need more films like that.
It's kind of like how Mad Max deals with a disability, with Furiosa's missing arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't see that. You just don't, they don't acknowledge it. It's just a fact, and yeah, she's still a badass because of it, and it's great. Yeah.
All right, I'm getting hot. We should end.
Okay, it's a good time.
This is a good movie.
It was a very good
watched
movie.
It.
Yeah, American Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Our other option for the night was Forrest Gump.
We were gonna watch Forrest Gump. So we were basically.
I haven't seen Forrest Gump.
So we were like, I've seen it a bunch of times. So we decided on this instead. But we were like, we need 4th of July movie, and this ended up being perfect.
Yeah, and we almost watched this other film that we were probably gonna watch tomorrow.
Yeah, we're probably watch. We kind of need to watch that tomorrow for me. Yeah,
but,
for school.
I think I'm glad we picked this instead.
Yeah,
for tonight.
For tonight, this was a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I showed you guys the popcorn during the Black Panther review. It's much smaller. It was bigger than my head. It's still bigger than my head.
Yeah.
But
Peter gave us popcorn.
Yeah. I'll show you the clip from Black Panther where I just go.
Oh wow.
But we stopped eating it once the film got really intense.
Yeah.
We just stopped.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right. That's that. Thanks for tuning in. Go see American Honey again and again. Bye.